So I've been asked to bring forward a message around illumination, around healing, protection, and activation of your gifts that are all going to start transpiring in 2025. And these energies are so strong right now. And as I've been normally when I bring a message through, right, I don't think about it. An idea comes in, some things in my field that I've been contemplating, all of a sudden it starts to click in, boom, 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 and I deliver a message. But it's been a little bit more difficult doing this one. I've been like, how do I start this message? And I've been overthinking it. And so maybe there's a message in that. Maybe you are being asked to do something right now and you're just overthinking how to do it right. And what we're being asked to do is to let go of that analysis in the mind and move into the heart space and just express from the heart. So I'm just going to tell you a tale, a story about what I've been experiencing in the last week particular, and there's all these messages are encoded within this story, and that way it can illuminate in your life where this is relevant, where these messages are for you. If you are tuning into this video, then know that your soul has brought you here for a reason. Know that there are messages in here, and through my story you can juxtapose it into your own life and you can illuminate those parts in your life which this message is coming through to give, and to just help me channel this message and bring it through in the most authentic, heartfelt way. I'm going to pull a card from the Egyptian gods oracle cards, because it really has been Horus that's been coming through, which, you know, Horus, whilst I haven't studied in any kind of depth the material around Horus, we can know that Horus was one of the pantheon of gods in the Egyptian timelines, but we can also know that those gods were put up on a pedestal, and humanity was sold the lie that they were above us and that we needed to worship these gods. And that is not the truth of the organic energies of these Greek consciousness structures, Horus, Isis, Osiris. These were actually energies, consciousness structures that were in unity with the Christed self, that were part of the Christos Sophia template, that were part of coming onto earth to seed the consciousness of unity, to help humanity to awaken to the fact that God's source lives inside each and every one of us, and each and every one of us has this higher perspective of the self, which is the Christed self. And as we start to heal all of the distortions that have been consciously and unconsciously inverted into our lives through generation after generation, as we start to heal those distortions of separation consciousness, which is the deepest wound that we hold, feeling that whether we're conscious of it or not, feeling separated from God's source, from our own source of life, which is an illusion because we are not separate from it. And these beings came here to remind humanity that it was within us, that we connect by healing those distortions within us and coming back into that knowing that we are whole, that we are one with all of humanity, that we are interconnected with each other. So I'm going to pull a card to help with that. So I'm going to use the Egyptian cards because it is Egypt that's been coming in strong. So if you're watching this, has Egypt been coming in strong for you lately? Have you been getting signs, synchronicities that perhaps so when Horus started coming in for me, it actually started in November when I was at a spiritual retreat, and we were given these different tattoos that we could choose, and I was really drawn to the Ankh symbol, which is a symbol of unity, renewal, rebirth. It's the death, rebirth cycle. The fact that we are eternal beings, that we are both divine and human, and then it is our divine higher self that incarnates, that comes into the physical body to give the body life, so that we can experience these two worlds, the heavenly realms and the earth realms, coming together in one unity. And the Ankh symbolizes that. So one of the tattoos was the Ankh, which I put on, and the other one was the Eye of Horus. And that was the first time that the connection consciously was made. But again, I didn't really go massively into it. And then the last week, I saw a tarot reading about 4 days ago where this channeler was channeling, and she's called the the connective conduit or something like that. I can't actually remember. And she was talking about a message coming through from Horus, and talking about how Horus, this consciousness structure is here, and all of Horus's helpers helping us to reconnect back to the true soul self. And she was talking about perhaps there's been a thought of having a tattoo, and it reminded me of that tattoo. And I had been thinking about having a tattoo. I'm 44, I've never had a tattoo. I never had any strong feelings for or against them, and it's just not been something I've wanted to do. But the last few days before seeing that reading, I had been considering having a tattoo in order to mark my transition into my new self, because the old self has completely died and I've moved on to a new timeline, and I feel it in my body. So even though I'm not seeing it fully in my external reality as of yet, because it's been weaved, because another message that was coming in for me is you're in a waiting room. So perhaps you have also been in a period of pause, not really knowing which direction to move forward. Maybe you've been doing a lot of work on something, but it's not necessarily coming to fruition, and you've been a bit like, where next? Why isn't this coming in? But know that you also may be in a waiting period. And when we're in the waiting period, it's because we've come to an end of a cycle. It's because we've healed some karmic patterns, and that is what we're doing as humanity. We move into this 2025 right now. We're in the 9. The number in numerology is 9, which is about completion of cycles, death and rebirth. So we've been going through that a lot individually and as a collective. And actually, as I record this video today on the 1st of the 8th, I ran the numbers before recording, because I thought, okay, what are the numbers? And the 1st of the 8th, 2025 creates an 18, which if you add the 8 and the 1 creates a 9. But if we also look at the 1st of the 8th, we can see there is a 9 there with the 8 and the 1. So we can also see that it's not just a 9, it's a 99. So these energies of death, renewal and rebirth are so strong within our lives right now, and especially if you are tuning in to this video. So I want to pull a card to in honor of this Horus energy that's coming in, and just to assist me with delivering this message in its highest expression, and bringing through the stories that are going to help you on your journey right now. Okay, so let's see what comes up. Oh, so interesting. The 33, Seleucus, healing, and that is one of the messages that Horus has been bringing through, healing. And that's what the eye of Horus represents. It represents protection, illumination, seeing clearly, which has been coming through massively as well, that you are seeing clearly now, that clarity and illumination is going to start to be flowing into your life at a rapid state. And the 33 is a number that's been coming. If you watch some of my videos from December, you'll see I mentioned this number 33. It is a master number, and it breaks down to the 11, 11, 11 as well. And it's a huge sign that if you are seeing this number, if you are seeing the 3s, the 333, or the 33, that you are going through a massive upgrade, a massive activation, a massive deep healing right now. My cat's about to join us here. She's trying to find a way in through the microphones. I'm just going to try and help her. She wants to join us. So it's a big sign as well that you are going through and we're going through massive healings individually and as a collective right now. And another message that was coming in through that, I woke up on Wednesday, last week, no, not Wednesday, I woke up a few days ago, and I woke up with this huge feeling of depression. I just felt this really heavy energy of depression, and I was like, oh, what's this? Am I depressed? And I started to question, am I depressed? And then I thought, I'm not depressed. And I started to feel all these energies, and as the day wound on, they started to dissipate, they started to ease, and then the dots started to come in, the illumination started to come in as Horus was coming through more and more. I was having a conversation with my brother, and he just randomly mentions the eye of Horus, and I was like, whoa, how interesting. And then as I've been speaking to other people in my soul tribe, they've been bringing forward little bits of information as well. So back to this feeling, this depression, right? So later on in the day, so you're being asked also to connect the dots right now. So as I bring this message, there's going to be some dots that start to boom, connect from what you've experiencing yourself. So then I was guided to listen to a Akashic Records reading that I had with Valentina Matthias. So Valentina Matthias is a master Akashic librarian. She's part of the royal lineage of Akashic guardians that protect. So here is Horus coming in again, right? Because the eye of Horus, which is the left eye, represents protection. One of its symbolic natures is protection, right? So she's a protector of this Akashic field and is, helping to restore integrity into this field, to help to dissolve and heal all false records that have been put into the Akashic field. And when it's put into the Akashic field, it also means it's been put into our timelines, into our bodies, into our memories. There's memories there that need to be healing, that are distorted. So as I'm guided to watch this video through these synchronicities that are coming up, she starts talking about my soul light, and she's like, your soul is so strong. It's just like, boom. And she's like, and part of your soul is here to dissolve, to transmute depression on the earth, because there's so much depression on the earth. And then it was like, boom, I remembered, and I already know this anyway, but I'd forgot in the moment when I was feeling these depressive energies, and I was like, where the hell are these energies coming from? And I was questioning, is this mine? And I realized, no, it's not actually mine, because right now, if you're tuning into the video, it's quite likely that you are one of these people that have been really focused on your healing or on the healing journey. And as you heal, you're actually building capacity within your body to help to, if you're see yourself as a healer, a light worker, part of your mission, like I know my mission is to help to collapse these old timelines, is to bring back the truth about who we are, which is interconnected, which is unity, to heal the source wound of separation. And she was talking about it, and I was like, boom, that what I was feeling, it wasn't mine. I was feeling the collective energies, because I've been working to be able to build up my capacity, bringing so much light. I've been bringing so much light in my body as I've been reconnecting back to the true soul self, so I can transmute the collective energies. So right now, when you are feeling these massive waves of energy, you might be feeling up one minute, excited, and then next minute you might be feeling these heavy energies, and that's because our heart spaces are being opened. I'm going to link a video at the end about that, which I'll go into that in more. But also, as I started to remember, it's not just mine, I felt some relief coming in. So you can know, as well as you're transmuting these energies, especially if you do see yourself as a star seed, a light worker, if that's been activating within you, then it is likely that part of what you are doing is here to hold space to transmute those energies, not just for yourself individually, but for the collective. So many of us light workers are doing that right now. So I was like, boom, it brought that in. And then from that we've got the protection coming in right now. So right now, these energies that are around us, if you are, you're seeing the sign right now, right? Because if you're listening to this message, then Horus is in your field, has a message for you, and is letting you know right now that you are protected as you go through these energies, as you are transmuting these energies. Know that you are protected by your team. Your team is around you right now. And actually, one of my friends gave me a good idea. She said, why don't you just energetically envision, because I wanted to have it on my left wrist as well, and the wrists are very important, because these were places where anointment would take place during the initiations in the Egyptian temples, and right now, I know I'm starting to remember that I was being initiated in those times for this time right now on earth, to be able to do this work, to help the collective, to transmute and heal all these energies that have been suppressed. And the left wrist also relates to the left side, the right brain, which is the divine feminine. It is the divine feminine energies that were severely repressed within women and within men. So this is not about sex, because we all hold these energies. So these energies of the divine feminine that have been repressed are being healed right now in a big way. So we're healing things around being able to express ourselves in an authentic way, being able to express our femininity, our divine femininity, which is our intuition, being able to bring through things that are inside our body. So we're learning to trust ourselves. Horus is coming in right now to help you to trust the signs and the synchronicities that you are seeing, which brings me back to the other day when I was sat down, when I was really contemplating Horus, because Like I said, spoke to my brother, I spoke to another, when I was speaking to my other friend, she was like, oh, I've just found this meditation that I wrote notes on 1.5 years ago, and in it, the Eye of Horus came through, and I wrote down protection. She was like, I totally forgot about that. So we're triggering each other into these memories and activations, and we're starting to put all these pieces together. So then later that night, and I've been noticing this over the last week, where I've been seeing this mist, this white mist has been coming in, and I've realised that it's my ancestors, that it's spirit coming through, that I'm starting to see spirit coming through. So I had this experience where I'm sat last night and this mist so strongly comes past my left eye, and I see this flash of light, and I hear this ringing in my ear, which is often when spirit is trying to communicate. So I close my eyes and I tune in and I ask, who is it? And Horus comes in, but I instantly go, nah, it's not Horus, right? Why do I do that? Because there is a program that's been programmed into us about these gods and goddesses that put them on a pedestal. And I can't remember if I talked about this at the beginning of my video, so apologies if I did, because when I'm channeling these messages, I forget what I'm saying, right? Because it's just coming from a pure state of flow. But basically, I distrusted myself in that moment because of a program around, of worthiness, right? Because these gods have been put up on this pedestal and sold to humanity, like humanity are below them. But that is not the true organic message that these gods and goddesses were bringing through. Actually, what they were bringing through is that we are all gods and goddesses, that God's source is that we are all connected to it, not outside of ourselves, but we are literally connected to it energetically. We are literally birthed from God's source, and these beings came through because they were awakening to this. They were becoming the ascended masters of their time, right, to bring through these divine messages of unity, consciousness, to let us know that we are all one, we are all equal. They are our friends, they are our brothers, our sisters. They are part of the same mission that we are on right now, that you are on right now if you are watching this video. So I realized in that moment that I dismissed it as being Horus, and it actually almost made me laugh, because I messaged my friend and I said this had happened, and she instantly said, well, it's Horus. And I was like, actually, yeah, that is what I thought, but I dismissed it because I felt, well, why would Horus come through to me? I'm not worthy of that. And I realized that wound of unworthiness. So these Horus energies are coming through to also ask you to start to really bring up those wounds of unworthiness, and to bring in illumination to those wounds that need healing, which are wounds of separation within the body, and also to help you to start trusting yourself. Because then I was like, hold on a minute, Horus has literally shown itself to me literally about 4 times in a day over the last 4 days. And it actually made me laugh, because I could hear Horus basically saying to me, like, hello, how many times do I have to show myself for you to accept, yes, I am here and I am communicating with you. And not only am I communicating with you, but I'm communicating with the collective. And I want you to bring through this message to the collective that I am here to support you. Me and my helpers are here to help you heal from this repression of the divine feminine, where we were silenced. And what are the divine feminine energies? Again, so I'm bringing us back to intuition, right? It's about trusting that them intuitive guidances that we get, those nudges that we get, those signs, those synchronicities, those confirmations that we get, and not writing them off as coincidence. So you're being asked to connect the dots right now. Right now, if you are watching this, something in your life has been trying to get your attention, and you have been getting signs and synchronicities, messages delivered through other people, through things that you've seen, you've heard, and these are important. These are part of your healing. So it's telling you are seeing clearly. You need to start trusting yourself, which again is a wound that we carry from the past, where we learned where we've expressed our intuition, and it's been either ridiculed, humiliated, silenced, whatever. So we're being asked now to step into our authenticity and to trust the guidance that's coming up. And we don't need to justify it to anybody else. There's going to be people in your life. You're going to be taking steps right now. Maybe you're being guided to do something and you don't have the full clarity. Well, you're being told that you are being protected. You're being protected and you're being guided, and you'll be guided step by step. And you just have to start trusting that guidance, and you don't need the validation from others, and you don't need to justify the steps that you're taking in alignment with your guidance to others neither. So in that instance, I was like, okay, yeah, so where in your life perhaps is these signs coming through and you're writing it off, you're not accepting it because you don't feel like you are worthy, you don't feel like, again, it could be related to this wound of how they've been put up on a pedestal, and they're not on a pedestal. There are friends, there are brothers, there are sisters, and they came into their time, and they did their mission work, and they planted many seeds, and we are part of that. We are part of those descendants, and perhaps many of us, like I'm remembering, even had lives in those times. I'm sure that you did if you're tuning into this, and we went through many initiations in those times. And those initiations were to prepare us for this point in time, because we could already see forward the lives that we were going to have, right? Because time isn't like it's been sold on the 3D plane. There isn't a past, a present, and a future. It's not linear like that. So often our future selves come back to the past to give us messages and to help us move on to the path that is the highest expression. So right now as well, you might be getting a lot of guidance from your future self coming into the now moment to help to guide you on your highest path. So you're being asked to, the message that's coming through is pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the synchronicities and follow them. And if you don't have clarity on where they are leading you, then just relax. It's okay. Know that the dots are going to start to connect, that it will click into place. Perhaps it's going to click into place in the next few days or weeks as you are tuning into the frequency of this message. So lots of illumination, lots of protection, and lots of healing happening. It's just to remember that you may be healing past life things that you thought you'd dealt with, you'd healed, but it's buried deeply in the subconscious. A lot of this healing will happen at dream time, because in dream time we are in less resistance. We can sink deeper into trust, into surrender in dream time. So lots of that will be coming. Pay attention to your dreams. Things are being illuminated to you in your dreams right now, and they hold meaning and significance. And again, don't go massively into the head trying to understand it. If you don't understand it, don't try and analyze it, right? Just hold it in your awareness. That was interesting. That's often what I do with dreams. I'm like, ooh, I'll give you an example. Just before Christmas, in a dream time, it was very lucid. I looked up into the sky and I saw these dark clouds, and I saw this spider appear, and it was this massive dark tarantula, and I was totally lucid in my dream, and I was like, oh, I'm being shown that for a reason. Now when I woke up, I didn't know why I was being shown it, and I didn't go into stress about it because I just knew it will be revealed in time. So another message of Horus is right now things are being revealed to us. Things are being illuminated, things are being revealed. So I didn't go into stress about it. I just thought, okay, it's going to come in when the time's right. And within a few days, someone that, again, one of my soul tribe that I was talking to, and this happens more when you start to align with your own authenticity and you start to speak your truth. You're going to connect to people that also align with authenticity. You're going to connect to people that start to speak their truth, that are healing the wounds, that are in resistance to connecting to your authenticity, and they're going to start reflecting things back to you. And one of these guys in this chat started talking about these black spider implants that can latch on to your pineal glands and things like that, this alien technology. And I was like, oh, interesting, you're talking about the spider, because and I've also known that there's been things being removed, implants removed. I've been going through that psychic surgery for the last year, and it's been amplified over the last few months. So I found that really interesting. And then later that day, I saw this video come up and it said Spider Woman. I thought, oh, interesting. And I didn't actually watch the video, but I banked it, right? I was like, there's the spider, there's the spider, there's the spider connection. If you are being shown things 3 times, pay attention to it, because that is spirit getting your attention, right? So I'm like, boom, here we go again, right? And then later that night he sends me this video, and he's like, this is a video, I had this psychic light card reading, if anyone's interested in watching it. I thought, yeah, I'm going to watch it. So I'm watching it, and all of a sudden she pulls this card, and it's Spider Woman, right? And it's got the infinity sign on both sides, but he's also the 8-8, right? Which is also a sign that's coming for me a lot. You know, spirit communicates through numbers, many different number patterns. We've already mentioned about the 333, but many different number patterns, and the 333 is coming in strong for many right now because it's about the Trinity. So I was like, okay, wow, how interesting. And then that night when I'm going to bed, right, something had arrived that day, these drops, these plant medicine drops, and they'd been sent from my friend, and they came in record time. They should have taken weeks to arrive, but they arrived within 6 days. So if Spirit wants you to, if there's any delays in your life, so I just want to add this now, it's coming in. If you feel like anything's been delayed, know that it's been delayed for a divine purpose. And the more that we can relax, you know, I mentioned about being in the waiting room, you know, we can get really restless when we're in the waiting room, we can get really impatient because we can't see what's happening beyond the waiting room. But often when things are being delayed, it's for our highest good. It's because things are being weaved. And what does the spider come through to show us as well? The spider weaves the web. So it's also trust that if things are being delayed right now in your life, and loads of things have been delayed in my life the last few months, and I've had to really release control and move into surrender and trust, and more messages have been coming through that you're in the waiting room, things are being weaved right now, in order for them to come forward into the physical in their highest expression. So if you are in the waiting room right now, relax, focus on fun, and that's been coming in massively as well. Fun. And I've had to ask myself, I've had to really start thinking, what makes me feel joy every day, and reconnect back to that. So while you're in the waiting room, rather than twiddling your fingers, rather than getting impatient, because, you know, think of it this way, if you're in the waiting room, you cannot make that waiting room move forward any faster than it is going to move forward, right? So why not just relax instead and have fun? And then it doesn't feel like you're in a waiting room. It doesn't feel like you're waiting. And as you're in that energy, information starts to come in, right? All these messages started to come in for me. All these connections start to show themselves because I let go, I relaxed, I surrendered into the waiting room. And so much magic has been revealing itself in the waiting room. So expect, if you are in the waiting room right now, if things have been delayed and you let go and you relax and you surrender and you start to trust that you are being guided, and you start to pay attention to the guidance instead and to joy and fun, that so much magic's going to start flowing into your life right now. So I see this card and I'm like, interesting. These plant medicine drops have turned up. So I'm like, okay, this is Christmas Eve. I'm like, tonight I'm going to do them. So I take these drops and I go to sleep, and all of a sudden I find myself in this, one could call it a waiting room. I'm in this room, right, which I'm just making the connection right now, actually. So I'm in this room, and I'm aware that I'm about to have a massage, right? And I'm always down for a massage. So I'm like, I'm excited that it's my turn next, right? And then all of a sudden I get told, this is not happening yet. So again, here's the delay, right? They're saying, so I'm wanting this massage, because to me, I see this, I'm thinking this match and thinking, oh, it's so fun, it's so enjoyable, I want it. And we could see that as our manifestations that we want, right? But I'm being told, no, there's something more important, you will understand. So here we are, things are being weaved to bring those manifestations in at a higher presentation for us, right? So now I'm being led into this room and I'm asked to lay down on this chair, and it's like a dentist chair, right? And in there is the guy, so one of my soul tribe, that actually brought through, that started talking about the spider a few days after I'd seen it, that actually then had that reading, had the spider woman, right? So he's the connection, and he's there, and I already know he's part of my soul tribe that I physically met in November. That's been shown to me very clearly, right? We're part of a soul tribe together. So and then he's there with the rest of my team, right? And they start talking about all these implants that they're going to be removing, these torture wounds. And again, what's coming up a lot for people to clear, like I say, is the suppression of the divine feminine, you know, all related to these witch wounds, you know, anything that was expressed as the divine feminine, intuition, connection to nature, to natural remedies, to healing through the divine energies. All of that was suppressed. People were burnt at the stake for those things. In fact, I'm watching something now, Once Upon a Time, and you might have watched it, and I'm absolutely loving it. There's so much inversion in it, but there's also so much truth, right? And every time they talk about witches, they're always wicked. It's always magic comes at a price. It's all about shutting down wishes and things, trying to plant subconscious programs. But I love that it is showing that anything that was natural, anything that was healing, right, back in those times, the divine feminine, it was sent underground. People were persecuted for it, and this is what is coming. So they were talking about these wounds, and I've been healing those deeply over the last year. And again, what's coming in there, just to add this in, is as Horus comes in, it's letting you know that your gifts are going to start activating on a whole new level as you heal these wounds, because a lot of those wounds have made us fearful of our gifts, because when we've embraced our gifts, we've been persecuted for them. So as we're healing these persecutions, our gifts are going to start coming online, because we're going to start surrendering and embracing them again, which is a huge healing that I am on. And as I'm embracing it, they're activating more and more, right? So here's my team talking about these implants that they're going to remove, and then I'm put back, and then my mouth is opened, and then I can't hear them, and they're drilling in the right side of my mouth. And they're drilling in the right side of my mouth, which I guess you would say is connected to the right brain, right? Because they're drilling right in the back here, which is connected to the left side, which is the feminine. So they're drilling, and I can't hear anything else, and it doesn't hurt, right? When you have psychic surgery, the beings, our light teams, they numb it, so you can feel it. It's actually quite enjoyable in a way. It's so strange. I actually love it. Sometimes you can feel a lot of pressure, but it's just kind of like, it's like that thing, when you have your tooth and your tooth starts to wobble, and it kind of hurts a little bit when you wobble it, but there's just something that you like about it, right? Or maybe that's just me, when I was younger, obviously. But it feels like that, and then that's happening. Then all of a sudden, boom, I open my eyes and I'm back in my bedroom. But I'm back in my bedroom and my mouth it's wide open, and they're still drilling in the side of my mouth, and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. Love it. So they're showing me how my body is still in my bedroom, right? Because often your body remains here in the physical world, but you have a light body, right? So your light body travels. It's still connected by a thread to your physical body. That connection is always there. But your light body travels to different dimensions, different levels. So know that right now I'm speaking about this, right? This is likely happening for you. Maybe you were aware of it consciously, or maybe you're not aware of it, because often we don't have conscious memories of it when we come back, and that's to protect us in certain ways. But I had specifically asked to consciously remember. I'd set my intention, I want to remember what work I'm doing tonight, and I'd surrendered to my higher self. I'd said to the plant medicine that I'm doing, to my higher self, that I surrender to whatever work needs to happen, and I want to consciously remember it. So they were allowing me to consciously hold that memory of what was happening, and then to come back into the physical and open my eyes and realize, oh, while my consciousness is now back in my body, my light body is still being worked on, right? And I'm feeling it in my body, because all these bodies are interconnected, right? So I'm there for about 20 minutes, and I'm like, whoa, and then like it finishes, and I'm like, okay, put the light on, recenter myself, because it's a little bit like, I'm like, oh gosh, what just happened, right? So I recenter myself, then I start to go back into dream time, right? And so and then start feeling like wuzzing directly into my pineal gland, and I get these electric shocks, and I'm being pulled. When that's happening, by the way, I got the message very clearly last night as that was happening to me. That is also our light team. Can be Horus. All of these consciousness structures attached to the Christos Sophia template that are here to help us restore the organic timelines, to heal all these inorganic timelines, so that we can step into our true, authentic, divine soul, God, goddess selves, and bring that onto the planet. And if you are experiencing that in your body, where you get these sudden electric shocks, that is light being basically inserted into your, blasted into your body, and it blasts in, it removes density. So you might feel that sometimes after some of the experiences you feel pretty shit the next day, potentially. You know, I know I did after, whilst it happened last night, I don't today, but once I had that, when that was happening the next day, I didn't feel very good. I felt very tired and drained, and because, you know, you have to think about when you're having psychic surgery, it's still surgery and it still takes energy out of your body, so you need to rest, rejuvenate. So right now as well, we're being asked while we're in this waiting room to let ourselves rest. And that means reprogramming the mind that tells us that we're lazy, you know, and there's so many videos out there that saying if you're not materializing what you want, then it's because you don't believe this, you don't do that. And that's not always the truth, right? At all. It's because there is a divine timing to things as well. So we could have done everything right, but it can still not manifest because of divine time, because we're in the waiting room, because the spider is weaving all of these threads together so that it can come forward at the right time in its right expression. So if you have been doing what you know, you have been doing your healing, which is really all you need to focus on is your healing and following your guidance. You don't have to do loads of other stuff. It really is, you heal, your vibrations changing, you're being stepped towards that manifestation. So, you know, it's not always that you know, sometimes the videos can make you feel like you know, it can actually start to erode your belief. So know that if you're in the waiting room, that, you know, that's what's happening, right? So we're being asked to rest and give ourselves time to rejuvenate as well. So after that experience and I'm being pulled again, then I'm aware of these spirits at the bottom of my body, and I've been really, my ancestors have been coming in strong. So, you know, perhaps your ancestors are trying to get your attention right now. Horus, these are part of our ancestral line. We are descendants from these Magdalene lines, and you know, those initiations that we were going through have been getting us ready for this time on Earth where we are ascending in consciousness, where planet Earth is ascending in consciousness, and we are the forerunners, and we have to heal these things out of our body so we can hold more light, so we can help to transmute those energies in the collective and on the planet to help as many souls as possible ascend with the planet, those souls that choose to anyway, that are contracted to and want to ascend with the planet. So after that, I'm aware of these ancestors at the bottom of my bed, and I created a contract with my ancestors saying, I want to see you, I want to hear you, communicate with me in all ways. And they're there, and you know, and I always know when I have done so much healing, so much, and I'm not saying that you know, there's more to do, 100% there is more to do. I've done so much. You know, I really just focused on my healing. I mean, I've been focused on my healing for a long time, but last year particular went deep. And really faced so many subconscious fears, so many energies that were trying to pull me back into my old self and stop me from moving forward on my destined path. You go through a lot of initiations, and because you need to be strong to hold as much light as possible, right? And through that, my ancestors have been coming through, and I want to see them, and I want to hear them, and I want to communicate with them, and I realize I'm really good at feeling with my energy field, and I know whether a being is a organic being or not, because I can feel it. And I've had experiences in dream time where people are presented as friends of mine, but I've known it's not them because I could feel it wasn't them. So I could feel these ancestors at the bottom of my bed, and I knew that they were fine, and I was happy that they were there, and I was like, you guys can continue, but I'm going somewhere else, because my consciousness was being pulled somewhere else. So okay, I'm probably making this video a bit longer than I want to, but all these messages needed to come through, with this message from Horus about healing, right? You know, 2025 is the year. So interesting, we've got the snake here, right? Because it is the year of the snake. It's the wood, in the Chinese astrology, it's the wood snake. And what does the snake represent? Well, the snake can represent the Kundalini rising, right? It's the awakening, because at the base of the spine we have the two snakes, the divine feminine energy, the divine masculine energy. And as they start to integrate and move up the spine, then it activates our pineal gland, it activates our chakras, and we start to awaken into divine consciousness on a whole new level. Like, we start to access the Christic consciousness codes, right, of our divine selves. We start to access the God, the goddess within, and we start to bring that light through. So interesting that we've got the snake here, which is also a symbol of healing, as it moves up our spinal column. So 2025 is going to be another year of healing, right? We're going to be continuing to heal the collective energies and the individual energies. So it's just remembering to be really kind to yourself and knowing that you've got support, calling in the support of your ancestors. But if you start to work with your ancestors, you know, one of my friends who's been working with ancestors for a long time, you know, she like said to me, when you're calling in your ancestors, make a point of saying you vibrant, healed ancestors. You want to be working with your ancestors that are healed, that are vibrant, that are here to help you with the highest good of your life and your mission. So perhaps you're being asked right now to call in your ancestors and work with your ancestors more. Pay attention to the signs. So I'm just gonna check, because I did make a few notes because so much was coming up. Crown activations. Right now, the last week I've been feeling, you know, immense crown activations happening, with the crown really opening up and so much light pouring in. So if you're tuning into this, perhaps you've been going through that also, or it's about to happen. Your crown is about to activate. When that happens, what do we need to do? We need to ground. We need to spend more time in nature, having baths, doing things that are going to meditate, and doing things that are going to ground, because we need to anchor that energy into the body. We need to integrate into the body. So you might be getting a lot of downloads, and this could be a reason why your mind can feel a little bit foggy right now as well while you're in the waiting room, because there's a lot of if your crown's activating, a lot of information can be coming in, and you need to be able to stabilize that information, ground it and center it into your body. You know, I think before I started this message, normally I just put the video on, I just start talking like I said at the beginning, right? But for some reason I was a bit all in my head, because there's been so much information coming in, and I wanted to share it in the best way possible, that you could really take from it the gems, the wisdom, the truth that resonates with you. You know, only take from this what centers and resonates with you, what brings light, love, healing, inspiration, encouragement, support into your life. Anything else, just disregard it completely. It's not for you, because my messages are there to inspire, to awaken, to support, encourage, activate, heal, help connect you. So if any of the energies don't align with that, just disregard it. But I was in my head, right? Because right now my gifts are opening up so much whilst I'm in this waiting room getting ready for my the next chapter of my mission, which I know is about to take off and explode. That I'm really being asked to, you know, there's a lot going on, a lot of information coming in. I've got to ground more, I've got to get out more. You know, as soon as I get out, I ground these energies more, I feel better. So I woke up on the 1st of January, and what message was in my head? Do what is right for you first before doing anything else. So I've started implementing that in my life to make sure that what I do in the morning, which in fairness I do mostly anyway, but to really make sure that I am disciplined with that the first things I do in the morning are all about me, are all things that are protecting my energy field, that are enhancing my energy field, that are grounding my energy field, so that then I can be of service, and I can be of service from a place of integrity, from a place of true undistorted light. So perhaps you're being asked to do that right now as well. Look at your morning routine, and it's really not about I have to get up at 4 in the morning, I have to go on the treadmill, not unless that lights you up, right? No, it's about doing what brings you into peace, centeredness, harmony. You know, like, so for me, for example, the first thing I do is have a cup of cacao, ceremonial cacao. It's, oh my God, I love it. And that was introduced to me by a master teacher, Judy, which I'm so grateful for, from living in She's amazing. And I started bringing that into my life every day. And it's like, right now, as we're going through all this healing, like we say, with so many ups and downs, it can feel really uncomfortable at times, and we just have to allow ourselves to feel it. You know, that's been like a hug, like this sovereign. It's a heart opener, it's a healer. You know, it's known as the food of the gods, right? And we are the gods, right? That is who we are. We are higher. We are God conscious. We are a cell of the God body. As we start to embrace that, we start to bring our light onto the planet. So I drink that, and then I go for a walk in the woods, and that really centers me before I do and give any anything else, and then I can give from a much more centered place. But while you are activating, so another message, your gifts are activating, then you need to ground more, get out into nature, meditate, get in a bath, just do things that are going to be nurturing, loving, and give your head space. So one thing that's been happening, and this has been happening to my friend as well, we're being asked to, or at least I'm being asked, only you can connect to this to yourself, I'm being asked to really be more conscious about how much time I spend on my laptop, right? Which can be difficult sometimes because I can feel myself sometimes getting addicted to it, right? And you know, when I've been going out for a walk, often I'd take my phone with me and I'd put my headphones in and I'd listen to a podcast or a video or a reading or something. And literally, this has been happening for the last month. My spirit just lowers my sound so I can't hear it. And I'm like, I'll put it back up. And then they'll lower it again. And I'm like, and sometimes I'll put it back up and they'll lower it again. And I'm like, okay, guys, I'm sorry. Literally, I'll stop resisting this. Just put my phone away. Be present. You know, we're being asked to be present more as well. Be present in our lives. That's where the joy is. That's where we access divine information. It's where the ideas come in. It's where our next steps come in. So, you know, I was walking in the woods the other day. I was doing it, and I'm even aware, right? I'm aware that I'm resisting it. I'm talking to my team. I'm like, I know I'm resisting it. I don't know why I'm resisting it. I'll just put it away. So I might put it away for half an hour, right? And then half an hour later, I'll bring it back out, and I'll be like, sometimes we don't want to be with our own thoughts, right? Sometimes we don't want to be with our own thoughts. We want to drown them out, and that's okay from time to time. It really is. But you know, we're really going to get the inspiration. We're really going to get the healing, the nurturing, these higher energies when we're in nature, if we're present. So you might be seeing your spirit team might be doing a lot. So my friend was saying they basically hid her phone. She found it in the bin. Many things have been happening to her phone. So you might be being asked to turn off a little bit as well to really protect. You know, so Horus is coming in with protection. And part of this protection is, you know, our team are trying to protect us from some of these energies that you know, that we can't completely, you know, we need our laptops and stuff. It's part of how we connect, and that is totally fine. But sometimes we need to bring balance back to that. We need to balance up the scales, right? We need to allow ourselves time to come back into recalibration with ourselves. So you've been asked to protect your own energy as well right now. So I'm going to wrap up there because I feel like I could go on forever. There's just so many messages come through. I think the main themes and the main messages that are coming out with Horus right now is illumination. Illumination is coming into your life. Connect the dots. Pay attention to the signs and synchronicities. Start to trust them. Especially if you've been shown 3 times, right? It is not a coincidence and you've been shown it for a reason. Pay attention to your dreams. If you don't understand what they are, that's fine. Just bank it. Just be like curious. That's interesting. I wonder why that came up. And it's going to come in for you in a few days' time. You're just going to be shown it. Trust and it will happen. Allow yourself, if you're in the waiting room right now, allow yourself to be in the waiting room, enjoy and bliss, and just focus on things that bring you joy. Reconnect to what brings you joy rather than getting restless. And because getting restless and that is not going to hurry up. It's not going to change the outcome, right? Because there's divine timing. I'm going to link a video about divine timing. There's divine timing at play, and things are being weaved. And until they are weaved, it can't come into fruition. So there's no point in getting restless. I'm not saying that in getting restless you're going to delay it, but it doesn't help. And if you get too, you know, it doesn't help, right? You're creating a resistance again. It's so just let go, relax, just trust. So illumination, protection, lots of protection coming in right now, and it's asking you to protect your energy as well. Say no more. Say no to something that is draining your energy. You know, right now we need more space for ourselves, and we're being asked to put up boundaries, protect our space and say no. And know that when you feel uncomfortable saying no, it's a wound and it's okay. It's just a wound that needs healing. But people respect you when you bring forward your boundaries, and it's up to you. Only you can do it. You know, there's no, you know, I hear quite a lot people that talk about doing things and they're like, oh, I've got, and they get really like defensive and annoyed about it and stuff, but it's them agreeing to do it, right? And other energies are gonna take that if you agree to it. So you have to understand your power, your personal power in that. It's up to you to protect your energy. Lots of activations coming in right now. Expect your spiritual gifts to start opening up more and more as you start to protect your energy, connect the dots, pay attention, relax, rejuvenate, have fun. Your crown chakra, you might be aware of your crown chakra activating. Ground more, get grounded, trust. And the biggest message that Horus has to bring through is the interconnectedness of life, is that we're all interconnected. If you have tuned into this video, I know 100% there are messages, especially if you're still watching it at this point, right? Because often people don't have a very big concentration span, right, because of all these little tiny 2-minute videos, TikTok, which are there to siphon off, like an octopus AI technology, your consciousness. So people's consciousness is just fragmented, hence why we need to give ourselves a break from technology as well, to bring back those fragments of ourselves. So if you're still watching this right now, then you are definitely on the path of self-mastery, or you wouldn't still be watching it. You are definitely part of this Christos Sophia, a mission to bring the organic templates back in. And the biggest message is unity. We are healing the separation wounds. So right now we are focused on healing anything that makes us feel separate from another, we're focusing on what connects us. We're starting to realize that we're all connected in this web of consciousness, and we deliver messages to each other, we activate each other, we act as mirrors for each other, we help us see things that we can't necessarily see on our own, that are in our subconscious realms. And as we start to really embrace, so we're being asked to heal anything that keeps us in division. You know, if we participate in the divide and conquer narrative, then we are in separation. We are projecting our wounds onto another, and often onto another being that is suffering as well. And as we heal that in ourselves, we don't need to do that anymore. We can start to just connect to our light, and we can start to move into our mission deeper, and we can start to help to heal the planet and help the ascension process. So wishing you so many blessings and miracles, and let me know if any of this resonates, if Horus has been coming in for you as well before. I'm guessing if you clicked on this reading, yes. So let me know your experiences. You know, I'd love to hear your stories as well in the comment section. Thank you.